Let us start. World Consumer Rights Day. World Consumer Rights Day is celebrated every year on March 15th. World Consumer Rights Day. You all know there is a famous statement called caveat emptor. Caveat emptor, which means consumer be aware. Caveat emptor, which means consumer be aware. In India, we have Consumer Protection Act 1986. In India, we have Consumer Protection Act 1986. Consumer Protection Act recently got amended, and we have not only consumer protection in goods but also services. Quality, quantity, purity, potency and standard of goods and services. Not only that, consumer education and unfair trade practices, consumer rights. All these things comes under Consumer Protection Act. And we have consumer courts. We have consumer courts. All these things are very, very important, and awareness of consumers is also very important. For that reason, World Consumer Rights Day was declared as March 15th. World Consumer Rights Day was declared as March 15th. And next thing, you have one more GI, geographical indication. Nowadays, every day we are discussing about GIs. Lakna chicken, Marayur jaggery, Sirsi supari, Erode turmeric. And today there is a news from GI registry again, geographical indication registry. Today again we have a news from GI registry. The GI registry has granted GI tag to Coorg Arabia coffee. Arabica. Coorg. You know Coorg, Kadagu district of Karnataka. Kadagu district of Karnataka. We have Kodagu. It's called Kodagu district. Kodagu. Kodagu district of Karnataka. Coorg coffee. Coorg Arabica coffee. So coffee, you know, there are two types, Arabica and Robusta. There are two types of coffee, Arabica and Robusta. See in UPSC olden days question, types of tea, types of coffee, silk. Sorry, types of silk, types of coffee. Types of silk, uri, all these things are the types of silk. We have Tussar silk, we have uri silk, like that. In the same way you have types of coffee. Coorg Arabica coffee, Wayanad Robusta coffee, Chikmagalur Arabica coffee, and Baba Budan Giris Arabica coffee. All these coffees got GI tags. Coorg Arabica coffee, Wayanad Robusta coffee, Chikmagalur Arabica coffee, Baba Budan Giris, Baba BABABUDAN GIRIS, Baba Budan Giris Arabica coffee. So there are varieties of coffees. There are varieties of coffees. All these got GI tag, geographical indication tag. Particularly remember Coorg Arabica coffee. And next important thing, there was a worst thing that has happened to the humanity, that is 49 people got killed in New Zealand in a mosque, in different mosques. 49 people got killed in New Zealand in different mosques. A gunman killed all of them and he propagated it through his direct live Facebook and YouTube. His mission is not to allow immigrants into New Zealand, and it has happened in Christ Church at the time of Friday prayers yesterday. Christ Church at the time of Friday prayers. Next article is about Supreme Court issues notice to Election Commission. Supreme Court issues notices to Election Commission to verify at least 50% of VVPATs. Here you should understand a point. there are 17 lakh VVPATs which are now being deployed in all the polling booths to tell whether the vote you have casted is going to right person or not, right party or not. So, Election Commission wanted to randomly verify one booth for every constituency and cross verification whether the same vote went for VVPAT and EVM. But 21 political parties led by all opposition parties asked the Supreme Court to direct the Election Commission at least verify half of the VVPAT machines with EVMs. Half of the VVPAT machines with EVMs. That means not one polling booth. In every polling booth, at least 50% of VVPAT machines should be in all the polling booths in the constituency. At least 50% of the VVPAT should be cross verified. It should be cross verified to avoid duplication. To avoid duplication. Here, I wish to tell you one thing about democracy. Democracy, as you all know, it is ruled by the people, of the people and for the people. And democracy is all about a little voter taking a little piece of paper with a little pencil, giving a little vote. But in fact, whether the voter is being voted in this pattern or not is a very important question. In a democracy, the elected government will be elected in two ways. See, generally in every democracy, two things are important for a candidate. One is people should like him in any way, might be caste, might be on merit, might be on religion, might be for money, any reason. Apart from that, there is a concept called poll management. There is a concept called poll management. What is this poll management all about? The poll management is about, see, in most of the elections in India, the fraction of winning is 1%, 1.5%. There is no much gap between the winner and the loser. Most of the times, some people will be winning with 100 votes, 1000 votes, 2000 votes. And generally in India, all the voters will not go for polling booths and vote. So, you can persuade the people who are in confusion and take them to the polling booth, those who are liking you, then you can manage that 1%, 2% votes very easily. And even in the case, sometimes you can manipulate last minute by giving something to the people. So, for all these reasons, one thing we should ensure, even Narendra Modi have given a call that increasing the polling percentage in the country. Increase the polling percent in the country. We should increase the people coming out and voting, so that at least majority rule will prevail. At least majority of the people will select a candidate. Even if it is good or bad, that is a different issue. At least majority of the people will come and do the work. This is really important. But unfortunately, you all know, in the recent Telangana elections, not even 49% of Hyderabad citizens have went to polling booths. Hyderabad means it's a civilized city and mature city where we have metropolitan culture, but people are not going up to polling booths. This is one thing. So, all these things we have to take care. Then only we can have a fruitful democracy. Not only just cross verifying VVPATs with EVMs, that will end duplication. Duplication can be done in many ways. Even you can create a temporary impression on the minds of voter by giving some freebies, by doing certain things, but we have to make a real difference in a democracy. We have to make people to get educated about the worth of their vote. Their vote is invaluable. That is very important. It's really important in a democracy, because most of the people who vote, go to polling booth, do not have a prepared mind and they vote suddenly to a candidate. That is something which is fatal to democracy. In the same way, there are many things, taking money and voting, all these things. What we need is matured vote. But how many percentage of people in India use their matured vote towards a particular political party, really favoring a political party? That is very, very important. This is at least VVPAT and cross verification with EVM will minimize it, but it is not practically possible to count. India is such a big country, everything cross verification means it was a Herculean task, very tough task. So, even that I think Election Commission will say this, if not one VVPAT, at least randomly 10 to 15 or 20 VVPATs should be cross checked, and 50% of VVPATs cross checking is practically not so easy. It is not so easy, because Election Commission do not have mechanism or staff by its own. All government employees will go as staff, temporarily deputed to Election Commission. Running the election, conducting the election, counting the votes, all these things itself is a big thing. and cross checking all these things, connecting all these things, it is not that easy, but the final say is to uplift democracy we can go to any extent. Democracy is very important. Human possibilities or human impossibilities are temporary, but democracy is final. That's really important. Coming back, Shillong Times editor gets Supreme Court relief. Shillong Times editor. You all know 2 days back Meghalaya High Court have given 2 lakhs fine and asked the Shillong editor and publisher to sit in a corner. If you don't pay fine, 6 months imprisonment and banning of publication of newspaper. 6 months imprisonment and banning of publication of newspaper. Supreme Court told stay temporarily ban this. Let's see what will happen. Next, Masood Azhar. You all know him by name. Jaish-e-Mohammed chief. France wanted to impose, already started sanctions on him, on all his money and properties. You know why? French society years back is very open society, but after that even Paris have seen terror attacks, including lone wolf attack, a single person coming and damaging as many as possible. What has happened in New Zealand? In the same way in France they have seen worst type of terror attacks. So French will not, the French culture now will not spare any terrorist, any activity. So one such fallout is this, Jaish-e-Mohammed chief. One such fallout is this. And coming to the editorial page today, a fresh warning, a fresh warning, a very beautiful article which is very important for exam, a fresh warning. Okay, so global environmental outlook, global environmental outlook, already we have discussed global environmental outlook 6, global environmental outlook number 6 is released by UNEP. I told you 2 days back, it's a very important prelims question. Who will give global environmental outlook? It is United Nations Environmental Program, UNEP. It has given a big warning. The report titled Healthy Planet, Healthy People. The title of the report is Healthy Planet, Healthy People. It says the world is becoming unsustainable. The resources are being extracted so badly. The resources are being extracted so badly. And the report says India is the worst sufferer. India would have saved around 3 trillion GDP without these climate effects. $3 trillion GDP. And health benefits, health costs, around 12 lakh people would have saved without air pollution last year. 12 lakh people's life would have been saved. So lot of things are at jeopardy. Stephen Hawking, a great scientist, told the planet will become unlivable after 1000 years. The planet will become unlivable. Mankind should search for other planet for their life. Mankind should search for other planet for their life. The planet becomes unlivable. And coming back, top 10% of world population contaminates, emits the greenhouse gases around 45%. Top 10%, 45%. Bottom 10% only 13%. Bottom 50% only 13%. Top 10% is 45%. Bottom 50% only 13%. This was the story. That means poor people are not emitting greenhouse gases. Rich people are emitting. I will tell one example. If you are very rich, you will have a car which emits lot of global warming. If you are very rich, every room you have a AC. If you are very rich, you will use electronic gadgets. If you are very rich, you will have not 1 fridge, 2, 3 fridges. All these things emit lot of greenhouse gases. Simple. If you are poor, you will use pot. If you are poor, you will use bicycle. If you are poor, we will use all small utensils, no big things where we will emit greenhouse gases. So this is how the bottom 50% of the people emit only 13%. Top 10% of the people emit 45% of greenhouse gases. As you grow rich, you will also emit more GHGs, greenhouse gases. See, we have a concept called carbon footprint. We have a concept called carbon footprint. Carbon footprint of an individual. For example, what is my carbon footprint on an average per day? For example, which car I drive, what type of disposal method I go with my waste, or what is the AC model I use, whether it is eco-friendly or not. All these things will be counted, how much emissions I am making. Okay. So, this is how things go. Next, the Jawan on the border. The Jawan on the border. The other wrote many things in a subtle way. I want to tell in a crux manner. We have seen Pulwama attack and India's retaliation. And who died in the Pulwama attack? 40 Jawans. And India retaliated. We don't know even today the number, how many died, whether they have died or not. But who is the sufferer? Jawan. And we have to protect the Jawans. And in fact, it's up to India now how to save our Jawans. Okay, you just understand the meaning. I cannot tell beyond this. Next, softer, slower. Softer, slower. See, we all know March 29th is the D-Day for Brexit according to Article 50 of Lisbon Treaty. According to Article 50 of Lisbon Treaty, we have given Britain have given 2 years notice. Britain have given 2 years notice to European Union, fast approaching, but MPs in the Parliament agreed to delay. They wanted to delay the Brexit because they want to have a proper deal first and then exit. So, what is the future relationship? What is the future relationship between the Britain and the European Union? What is the future relationship? Okay, then partition, freedom and democracy. India-Pak conflict. India-Pak conflict. You all know exactly 100 years back there is no country called Pakistan, there is no country called India, everything is Hindustan. We are all Indians. Then slowly what happened? Partition happened. Now Kashmir issue started, fighting started, conflict started, attacks started, killing started, hatred started. But what we need is not only negotiation between the countries, but also ensuring freedom for poor people, poor Jawans from either side. It might be India side or Pakistan side. That is really important. Innocents are being killed in every war, not the people who are actually involved in it. Most of the times innocents are being killed. This is the thing.